Good Thursday morning to you and yours once again. It's time now for another edition of Our Town right here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson, and Our Town brought to you by the great folks at Decorah Bank and Trust each and every week. 4 guests, 3 interviews on the program this morning. The Decorah Community Food Pantry is holding its annual food walk this Sunday. We'll talk about the food walk, the current diaper drive they've got going on, and the pantry itself and the good they do for the residents here in Northeast Iowa with Pantry Director Matt Tapscott, as well as Vice President of the Pantry Board, Nancy Ruen. They will join us later on in the show. Nicholas Busta will join us. Wingfest coming up in St. Lucas this weekend. We'll hear all about that. But first things first, for 27 years now, the Northeast Iowa Artist Studio Tour has been taking place throughout Northeast Iowa, and the tour is still going strong, and it will take place tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. And here to tell us all about it and bat leadoff on this morning's edition of Our Town is Glen Ellickson. He'll get things going next. This is Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. It's fall, and that means the temperatures are dropping a little bit. That means the leaves are starting to change color. And in our neck of the woods, that means it's time for the Northeast Iowa Artist Studio Tour, the 27th annual event taking place this weekend. And Glen and Darla Ellickson have run this event from the start. And Glen, I drew the short straw, so I get to talk to Glen and not Darla this morning. But nonetheless, Glen joining us, and Glen, 27 years for this event. What keeps it going? What has made it such a sustainable event over the years?
Well, I think it's mostly the educational aspect of it, along with the fact that we have such a large group of very talented artists in this area. You can go to a studio tour, or you can go to art fairs and see a bunch of artists in their 10 by 10 foot canopies and buy something. But here you get to see the studios, you get to see how the art is made, you get to see where it's made, you get to see the tools that are used to make it. And the other thing that is just wonderful is, you know what it's like driving around up here in the fall. It's gorgeous. So you put together the wonderful scenery, the wonderful art, the fact that you get to see how things are made and the like. And I think that's one of the main driving things that's kept it this successful.
And seemingly that was just kind of such a simple idea that you guys brought to life more than a quarter of a century ago, because we see the end product of a lot of things that get made, but we don't always think of the work that it takes to bring these products to life. How did such a simple idea become such a cool thing?
Well, we actually first heard about it. There was a group in Wisconsin of artists that, when we were doing art fairs, we talked to friends of ours, and they said, this is just great. People that are on the tour are having such a nice time. And as artists, we get to stay home as opposed to driving, to Chicago, Minneapolis, Kansas City, you name it, to do the art fairs. And it's just kind of evolved. We started out small. I think we had 16 artists our first tour, and most all of them were the professional artists that were in the area. And since then, it's grown to include people that they don't do art fairs, they don't have work in galleries, but they're good artists. So I think getting the new people in this year, exciting. We have 6 brand new artists that have never been on the tour before. That's the most we've ever had in one year. And I think that's really important too, is we're getting new blood, new faces. People won't just say, oh, it's the same old people all the time. And I think between the new artists and the returning ones we have, that's really helped what sustain it. And as far as the idea, like I said, that group had done a studio tour and said it was great. And we knew in this area we had such a good concentration of quality artists that it just turned into kind of a natural fit. It's been a lot of work. It's still a lot of work to run the thing, but we really are proud of what we've created.
And you mentioned 6 new artists on the tour this year. How many artists are involved in the tour this year, and where are they located throughout Northeast Iowa?
Well, there's 40 artists total this year. 6 of them are brand new, which have never done before. We have 3 artists that are returning that were on in past years that took a year or 2 off that are back again. We have a new artist, Andrew Robel, down by New Albin. We have quite a few right in the Decorah area. We have a new artist in Spillville. We once again have artists from New Albin to Lansing to Harper's. down towards Claremont, West Union, and they're in the Decorah area. And there's a pretty big concentration of us up here northeast of town too. So it pretty much encompasses, it's not just a Decorah event, even though that's where most the majority, not the majority, but you'll find most artists, the most concentration in Decorah. But it encompasses the smallest little gravel roads you've ever seen in Northeast Iowa. So it's really nice that way that it's a region-wide event.
And over the years, how has this tour evolved and changed? How has it remained the same? And where's the balance between those two things? Because you want to keep new ideas and the ideas being fresh over the years, but at the same time, you want to remain true to what has made this a great event over the years. Where is that happy medium?
Well, the biggest thing is, like I said, our mission statement has always been to provide an educational aspect to the tour. So we remain true to that. We don't allow an artist to have 4 or 5 other artists gather at their place and kind of turn it into a mini art tour at their place. We've always been real true to that, trying to promote the artists in their own studios. I think the biggest thing that's changed is 27 years ago, we put up signs to help people get directions out in the country, because there's a lot of these gravel roads, you take the wrong turn and boy, you can be lost for a long time. The biggest change is now everyone's got a device in their pocket that lets them, they punch in the address and it takes them there. So I think it's made it so much easier for the public to try to find these people. They don't have to be as dependent upon the signs. And I think that's probably the biggest change since we started.
As for the event itself, what are the hours of the tour, the dates of the tour, and how do you suggest people navigate the tour?
Well, this year our tour is October 11th, 12th, and 13th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10 to 5, all 3 days. It's a free event. There's no charge. You can go anywhere you want to. The biggest thing is to try to get a brochure. They're in lots of the hotels and restaurants in this area, the Decorah Chambers of Commerce, different chambers have the brochures. But if you don't have one, go online, iowaarttour.com. You can download a brochure there. You can print a brochure. You can print a map. You can go on Google Maps and find the closest artist. And I think all the artists should have brochures at their studio. So if you can make it to the first studio, even if you don't have a brochure, you can pick up one there. In the brochure, we have a printable map for those of you that still know how to read a map. And we also have lodging and dining locations along the tour that if you want to get a bite to eat in Lansing or walk on or Decorah or wherever, you can do that. And so I would suggest that if you don't have a brochure, go to iowaarttour.com and that'll be where you can start.
And you mentioned the educational aspect of the tour. You're still taking people back to the Ruen McNally days. Mass respect for that, because, I mean, you can have your phone tell you where to go. If you can figure it out on your own, that helps you grow as an individual. But you and I grew up with maps and not phones.
Yeah, you're correct there. And I will warn some people, you get down in some of these valleys, your device isn't going to work the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. Anything we're missing, Glenn? Anything else you need to bring up about the tour coming up this weekend?
Well, just like I said, we're really excited about having the new artists in the tour. Like I say, that fresh blood, the old timers are getting older, so it's really great to see the new people coming in, adding a lot of life to the tour. Once again, this coming weekend, and I would strongly encourage everyone just to take your time driving around. The leaves are starting to change. Things are getting pretty. Don't just rush between studios. Make it just an enjoyable experience. And I would be remiss without thanking you and LA Communications and other stations in the area for really helping support the tour over the years. You've been a great backer of it, and it's really appreciated by Darla and I.
Well, and we appreciate what you guys do for the community, and I'm always willing to give Glenn the opportunity to have a chat with his favorite former coworker, right?
Yeah, 15 years or so.
Exactly. I mean, we had a good time. That's no doubt about that. But Glenn, we thank you for taking some time to tell us about the Northeast Iowa Artist Studio Tour coming up this weekend. Best of luck with the event, and most importantly, we thank you and Darla for what you guys do for our community.
Well, thank you, Goober.
All right, Glen Ellickson, Northeast Iowa Studio Artist Tour, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., iowaarttour.com. Up this weekend in the great city of St. Lucas, it's Wing Fest, and here to talk about it is Nick Busta. And Nick, from what I understand, this is the first time you're trying something like this. How did this event come to fruition?
Actually, we had a person that he grew up in St. Lucas. Bud Winter is his name. He lives down in Dubuque right now, but he's gone to multiple wing type themed events. So he just wanted to maybe try it in St. Lucas, and we have a fun day committee that kind of got on with him, and we've kind of just want to try our own version of it and have some fun. So.
And how long of a planning process did it take to put everything together for this coming Saturday?
We've been planning since the summer, 4 months, and like you said, this is our first time, so I'm sure there'll be some things. Hopefully, we continue this, and there'll be some things we can change for the better for the next coming years.
And what will this event all entail? What all will be going on Saturday in St. Lucas?
So we got a whole lineup of things. The wings are obviously the main feature, so I can kind of go over the events of the wings first. So yeah, this Saturday we're going to start at 11. We're going to have football games on all day, Iowa State. So they start at 11. So we'll have our beer tent and food open at 11. So the wings, those are going to start at 3. What we got is we got 10 cook. These are just people that signed up to cook. They got roughly 250 wings per cook, and these are bone-in wings. So each cook's going to cook their own wings, and they're going to have 3 different flavors. And so the public, anyone can come. What we got is you can purchase a punch card for $10, and that'll get you 8 wings. And what you can do is go to each booth, and if you see a flavor you like, you ask for 1, 5. You can use all 8 wings on one flavor if you want. They'll punch you a card for how many wings you take. And once you're done with that card, one card is good for 1 vote, and you can drop that in. We're going to have a setup where you can vote for your favorite cook for 1 card. And you can have as many cards as you want. And yeah, I mean, that's the good thing. The public gets to vote. We're going to have like a People's Choice Award is what we're going to call that. And then also we have 5 judges that we've selected that they're going to do their own judging, and they're going to give away, best flavor, best cook award too. So we're planning on starting the wings at 3, and that'll go till they're out. But we're going to probably announce the winners around that 5 o'clock time frame. So yeah, as far as the wings go, that's kind of how the wing part of it's going to go. And we also, for people that don't necessarily like wings or want something different, we're going to have ribeye sandwiches, hot dogs, brats, a kid's meal deal thing going, pop, water, beer, all sorts of fun. So as far as the food, that's what we got going. And we have a carry out meal too, because I know a lot of farmers are going to be out there and they might want to carry out. So
no doubt about it. Just a question, when this goes well and you have this event next year, how do you sign up to be a wing judge? Because I'm sure you'll get plenty of people offering to do so.
Yeah, that's something we're probably going to have to talk about if this hopefully goes over well. And also people that want to cook too. We're hoping there's going to be more people for next year too. First year, so kind of like I said, we're trying something new. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to improve on.
And obviously the food and the wings are the big part of this festival coming up on Saturday, but other things are going to be going on as well, from what I understand.
Yeah, so we got, like I said, we're going to have football games. We'll have TVs on all day. That starts at 11. We have a volleyball tournament at noon. Bags start at 2. Bags tournament at 2. We got a touch-a-truck at 2 o'clock also. So we have things like ambulance, sheriff's office, fire truck, dirt moving equipment. Stub Boyer, he lives in town. He's going to have his race car there. And we actually have a helicopter. Gunderson is coming with a helicopter. So that'll be a big thing for the kids. We're going to have bouncy houses all day for the kids. And trying to think of what else. I think that's the main thing. I think that's the main things we have going on. So.
And I see there's some other weekend activities. I think St. Luke's is having their fall dinner on Sunday. I know it's not on Saturday, but that's always a good feast, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So the church is having their fall dinner. It's a pork chop meal. It's 11:30 to 1. So yeah, if you're in town Saturday and you want to come back to town Sunday, get good food both days, hopefully.
So if you walk away from St. Lucas hungry this weekend, it's your own darn fault, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Anything we're missing, Nick? Anything else you want to pass on to the public about this first ever event coming to St. Lucas this weekend?
I'd say if you want any more information, you can visit the City of St. Lucas Facebook page. And yeah, just thank you to all our volunteers, and we've had some people donate money, and yeah, we hope it goes over well and people have some fun.
All right, Nick, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to tell us all about Wingfest coming up this weekend in St. Lucas. Best of luck with the event. And I know I've never been to St. Lucas and not had fun, so I'm sure it's going to be a great time this weekend.
Sounds good. And this is all up at the ball field by the church. I think I forgot that part. So, and yeah, thanks for having me on.
No doubt about it. Nick Busta talking about St. Lucas Wingfest coming up this weekend on Saturday. Coming up this weekend, the Decorah Community Food Pantry will be holding a food walk this Sunday, and we'll talk about that event, the pantry itself, and other things going on with the Decorah Community Food Pantry. With us is Matt Tapscott and Nancy Ruen from the food pantry. And Matt, first of all, talk about the community pantry itself. In general, what type of services do you provide? Where are you located? How can people get involved if they want to help out?
That's a great lead to this conversation, Darren. Thank you. When you said the Decorah Community Food Pantry, I've been on board on staff here at the pantry for just over 2 years. And community is the key to success. This community has such right to be incredibly proud of the food insecurity services they provide to people in Northeast Iowa. We do serve 60% of our clients are out of Winneshiek County, 30% are out of Alameda County, and the rest come from surrounding counties. So we really are the Decorah Community Food Pantry. Community is key, but we do serve families in need throughout the area. And part of the reason we are able to do that is because the incredible support this entire community gives to the issue of food insecurity. And part of our conversation in our pantry and a broader conversation we want to have in the community, that's why we're holding the food walk, is about food waste. When I came on board 2 years ago, the statement from Feeding America, which is our upline parent organization, is you can't address food insecurity without talking about food waste. And our pantry has really embraced that. And then Sunday's walk is an opportunity to talk about that even more.
And Nancy, tell us about the food walk itself coming up on Sunday. Give us the details and how people can get involved.
Our food walk, it's going to be the third annual food walk. It's on Sunday at 1:00. All you need is a food item or a cash donation for registration. Anyone is welcome to attend, and we will start out at the food pantry, which is located at 110 Railroad Street, and we'll walk from there up Washington Street to Water Street, then down Water Street and back down Mechanic, and end up at the food pantry again. In the past years, we've raised close to $1,000 each Sunday when we've done it, and I think last year we had over 500 pounds of food and goods donated. We are doing our diaper drive this month too, so they are always a good item that are kind of expensive for our neighbors to find. So that's a good thing to bring if you'd like to. Yeah.
And yeah, give us more details about the diaper drive as well. That's going on right now. Obviously, community food pantry is what you're titled, but diapers are something that young families are in need of on a constant basis.
You know, as a staff person in this organization, I'm proud of the bylaws of this organization that address the issue of personal hygiene products, like diapers, toilet paper. You know, those are expensive items to buy. What the pantry does, you know, we talk food insecurity. Most of the time, this is not starvation level hunger. This is food insecurity. People don't have enough food in their home, in their personal pantry to live a full and active life. The reality is, you know, diapers and paper products are expensive as well. And the bylaws of this organization address that. That was pretty thoughtful of the folks that put this organization together. Nancy, as the vice president of our organization, we lovingly and jokingly said that if we're offering food at one end, we should be covering the other end as well. So.
I don't know that I said that.
Oh, yes, you did.
Well, it makes sense to me. But Matt, I know you touched on the issue of food waste. How has the Decorah Community Food Pantry been able to reduce that over the years?
Wow, great question, Darren. Because of our partnership with several retailers, Fairway, Hy-Vee, Walmart, the Quick Stars, just recently one of the local Casey stores. But over the years, those partnerships with those retail partners, food that used to go to literally to the dumpster, there's a federal program called Food Rescue, and we participate in that, as do those retail partners. Last year, we rescued over just shy 299,000 pounds of food from going to rescue. This is perfectly good food that in the retail business, they have a new truck coming in. That stuff hasn't moved off their shelves, but they need to move it for space. It's still perfectly good. The dates are good. The food is good. But we can go in and rescue. And because of our amazing volunteer pool, when they heard there was food not being rescued, they said, let's go get it. We now rescue food 5 days a week in our pantry, sometimes 6 on the weekends with the local farmers market. But 5 days a week, we go to out to retail partners and rescue food and bring it in and redistribute it to families in need.
And Nancy, that seems like just such a simple thing that many of us probably take for granted. And here you are making use of the resources that are already available to a lot of people. Seems like such a simple thing, and you guys are doing great work with something that just is at the front of, again, a lot of us take for granted.
We're really proud of the work that we do, and that we have amazing volunteers that want this job done. And we couldn't do it without those volunteers. I mean, they put in hundreds of hours a week. In the morning, they get the rescue food in and get it out on the shelves. And in the afternoon, we have other volunteers come in to make sure that our neighbors go home with food that they need for their families.
And Matt, I know this is probably a general question without probably a specific answer, but how big of an issue is food insecurity in our area?
Out of the 43,000 people in Northeast Iowa experiencing food insecurity, 14,500 are children and 10% are senior citizens. So one of the things this pantry does very well, and it's in partnership with the Northeast Iowa Food Bank, is we keep incredible data. You know, there are numbers to back up the work that we do, the need, and, you know, we say everything that comes through our door is weighed in, and everything that goes out our door is weighed out. And this organization keeps incredible data on the families that utilize these services. And Darren, too, we weigh everything that comes in. If somebody carries in 1 box of macaroni and cheese, for example, which is a common occurrence, we weigh that in and record that in. If we're purchasing something from Fairway, which we do periodically, we weigh all of that in. So there's really good data on the work that's being done here. Where I'm going with this is, Nancy said we couldn't do this without our volunteers, and we absolutely could not. This place could not operate 55 plus hours a week without the volunteers, but it also could not achieve what it does without this incredible community supporting the community food pantry and addressing the issue of food insecurity.
Nancy, how many people are involved on the volunteer end of things? How many people make what you're able to do happen?
I think it's about 120.
Yes.
Wow.
Give or take. And we are always willing to take more because we have a lot of snowbirds that go south for the winter, and people in the summer want to take vacation. So we're always ready to train somebody else if they'd like to. And the monetary donations, I think too, we also need to recognize our community for. Whenever there's a drive, community members step up, community businesses step up, churches. We are a faith-based organization. Thank you. So our community is what makes us happen.
And Matt, I know when it comes to monetary donation, from what I remember, your ability to purchase food with monetary donation, that you can purchase more food than like a regular person going to a grocery store. Explain how that works.
Because we are partners with the Northeast Iowa Food Bank, and they are partners with the USDA federal farm bill and the food bank section of the farm bill, they have contracts with suppliers. We can purchase food at 19 cents a pound. A good example is next week, our order through the food bank is about 2,400 pounds to be delivered on Tuesday, and we'll pay about $250 for 2,400 pounds of food. So those dollars can stretch when there's food at the food bank to do that. The farm bill is an important piece of legislation, one of the most nonpartisan pieces of legislation, but it impacts our ability to do our job. So the healthier the food bank section of the farm bill is, then the healthier the food bank has items that we can order at reduced cost.
And Nancy, people wanting to make food donations or monetary donations to the Decorah Community Food Pantry, how do they do so?
Write out a check to the Decorah Community Food Pantry and send it to 110 Railroad Street, Decorah, Iowa, or stop by and make a donation. I think they can check our website. Is it on our Facebook page? There's a link to how they can get to it. So.
All right, Matt, anything we're missing about the pantry itself? Anything else you want to pass on to the public, as long as you got the forum this morning?
Darren, I appreciate that, because one group of people we maybe haven't mentioned quite as much as are our neighbors, the folks who have to come to the door of the pantry and ask for assistance. That's a difficult thing to do. We work really diligently. It's part of our mission statement to welcome people in a very respectful manner, understanding, coming to the door. When it's the community pantry, the folks who utilize the pantry are also encouraged to participate, whether they make simple donations of bags that can be reused, egg cartons that can be reused. We have clients that have gardens that bring in their surplus gardening, their surplus produce. We have folks that will grab an extra box of macaroni and cheese, knowing that the pantry help to defray their food budget. So truly, when we talk about community food pantry, it's the entire community, including our neighbors, the folks who are in a situation where they have to utilize the pantry for food insecurity.
I know, Nancy, you've been involved with this for quite some time. How rewarding is it to be involved, and knowing the fact that so many people are involved in doing so much good?
It's the best feeling you can have when you help somebody out that you know that needs help getting food on table for their family. I never leave the food pantry feeling like, wow, what was I doing? That was a waste of my time. I always feel positive and like I did something well worthwhile for the day.
All right, Matt, let's run down the events coming up this weekend and the events currently going on. Let's give us one final reminder about the food walk coming up this week and also your diaper drive.
All right, I'll start with the food walk, 1 o'clock on Sunday at the food pantry. Bring a food item or a cash donation and your comfortable shoes for walking. And we'll have some fun together, making people aware of the hunger need in Iowa.
All right.
The other thing going on is our diaper drive through October 15th, which was initiated by a volunteer and one of our faith-based partners. So diapers are always on, and they're difficult to find at the food bank. So there's a drive going on, and we've been successful with that, and encourage people to think about that as an opportunity to support the pantry as well.
All right, Matt and Nancy, we appreciate you taking some time to tell us about the events currently going on, about the food pantry, also the Decorah Community Food Pantry itself, and all the good you're able to do through your organization. Most importantly, we thank you for what you do for our communities, and thanks for taking some time to tell us all about it this morning.
Thank you, Darren and K-Vike Radio. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Matt Tapscott and Nancy Ruen from the Decorah Community Food Pantry. The food walk coming up this Sunday at 1 o'clock, diaper drive going until next Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed our 3 conversations that we brought to you this morning on Our Town. We want to thank Glen Ellickson, Northeast Iowa Artist Studio Tour taking place this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 40 locations, including 6 new locations on the tour this year, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. each and every day. Nicholas Busta with Wingfest on St. Lucas. That's taking place this Saturday. And the Northeast, or the Decorah Community Food Pantry is having its annual food walk this week. Matt Tapscott, the pantry director, and Nancy Ruen, Vice President of the Pantry Board, joining us to tell us about that event. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube each and every week. We realize you're busy, got a lot of things going on. Can't always be near a radio or a smart speaker or anything else that omits audio goodness like you hear on the river each and every day at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we get to talk to interesting people about interesting things. It's our privilege to bring these conversations to you when you want to hear them. It is YouTube is the place we post these. Just go to 1010 Our Town program. That's a great way to put it as well, or to search for it as well. And we also put the links up on all of our LA Communications Facebook pages. It's the way we do our best to stay in touch with our community and the community events right here on the Our Town program. It's been brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. We thank them. We thank our guests for joining us, and we thank you, that's right, you, for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.